What's up, guys? I'm here with Salih, who has sold 1.8 million on Amazon. He's only 17 years old. I don't know when this dude started. You must have been like 13 years old at the time, right?
15 or 14.
15.
I think I just turned 15. Yeah.
So you started 15, 2 years, and you're already at 1.8
Yeah.
million. That's pretty
Yeah.
insane, man. I don't know too much about
Thank
your
you.
business, so I'm super excited to dive in. I think you
Yeah.
do online arbitrage, right?
As of right now, I'm doing mostly wholesale, just because
Okay.
that's what's been working for me. I was for the past. I've been selling for about 2.5 years now. So for the past 2 years, I was mostly online arbitrage. Past 6 months, I've been like mostly doing wholesale. It's like 85% wholesale.
Okay. And so talk us through how you started. Like, what got you into it? Did you see a TikTok? Like, dude, you're fucking 15 years old. Like, you should be in school playing sports, which you are. You're doing
Yeah.
soccer and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I do play soccer.
what made you want to do this, and how'd you get started?
So I was just doing, I was starting a bunch of businesses and just like I wasn't making a lot of money, but like I was, trying things out. And so I saw some of Reezy's YouTube videos, and then there's a guy named Josh. He put me on, or he was telling me a little bit about it, and so I just went in and like did my research, YouTube, and I'm here today. So started off online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, mostly retail, and then moved to online, and now I'm doing wholesale. So that's
Gotcha.
kind of my story.
And what kind of businesses were you starting besides this?
So back during COVID, since I was online school, I had an iPhone repair, and I was profiting, I think, around like $3,000 a month, but it was like very minimal work, just fixing phones. I probably like spent less than like 15 hours a month to make that kind of money, which is good money.
You're that kid at school that's just like looking for broken iPhones. You selling shoes and stuff too?
Yeah, I was going to Ross and Marshalls and buying shoes. It's a flip on eBay back before Amazon.
Gotcha.
So
but
it was a lot.
I mean, like, what did you sell bubble gum and stuff to kids?
I did that. I sold candy and chips.
Yeah.
That was my
Like
like red.
prerequisite. That's what I did too.
Yeah. I think every business person like started off selling snacks at school.
Yeah. The difference between me and you though, is I was like your age doing that, and you're like already selling on Amazon. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you hopped into retail arbitrage. So can you kind of walk us through that? Like, so did you skip books? Did you do books at all?
Oh yeah, I did do books. Yeah, I'll get into that. Yeah. So I got my Amazon account, and then I think my first month I did like $170. I was just selling books, and then I think for the next, so I started in August. September I was doing books, and then around November is when patio heaters started kicking off, and I was like, Mom, Dad, we got to go to Home Depot, and I couldn't drive, so they had to take me. And I was like, I have to buy these patio heaters to sell, and they didn't really believe me at first. So
and that was from Reezy. Did you see that from Reezy at the time? Or
yeah, Reezy put all of us on, yeah. And so I was in his group, and so we went to the local Home Depot. We bought a few. I sold them. I didn't make a bunch. Like I think I made like $15 a heater, so it was like 10%, I guess.
But you're merchant fulfilling these, right?
Huh? Sorry.
You're merchant fulfilling them, like you're buying them.
Yeah.
You're not FBAing them. So your parents kind of had the confidence, like, oh, he's buying this and selling it same day. Are they funding it? Or are you funding it?
So at the start, I think I had around like $7,000 saved up from like candy, phone repairs, just whatever. Nice. So I funded it at first, and then that whole like winter, like I just went ham on patio heaters. And then since it was still COVID, there are these sanitizing, like Ryobi, I think that's the name of the brand, like these sanitizing guns. Like you put like whatever you want, and it sprays it on stuff. So I was doing that in patio heaters. So that's how I got into retail arbitrage. So I made a bunch of money in my first few months because patio heaters was really good. Just buying them, they sell within 10 minutes. And so I was able to flip my money really quickly.
Yeah. This is like a common theme. Like people kind of like, they dabble a little bit, and then one of these opportunities comes around where like everyone kind of knows about it. But if you get in early enough, whether it's patio heaters, chlorine, there was like the Stanley mugs, there's a bunch of other stuff I can't even mention right now because it's happening, but like everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet while it's happening, and then in hindsight, pools, was another one.
Schools, yep.
You got KT Hustle's always posting his videos of him like doing his pool stuff like
Oh
3
yeah, back
years
in the
ago.
day. Yeah.
It seems like everyone who really gets into this has,
Mhm.
not everyone, but like a lot of people, they have like a early success that just gives them the confidence. Oh, I just made 10K in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like there's something to this.
Yeah. I think that was Uh, that kind of boosted my like morals of like how this is like how this would go. Because I was like, dang, I made all this money and I don't know anything. Like being honest, I didn't know much about Keep. I didn't know much about like I basically knew nothing. I just went to Home Depot, bought it, and listed it up, and it sold. So I was like, let me do more of this because it's so easy. But yeah, I
Salam
mean, those times are
alaikum
over.
salim. Is that how you say it?
Alaikum salam. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, alaikum salam. Uh,
You got fans, bro. You got fans.
yeah. So I was only 17. Yeah,
Carter,
thank you.
Carter's getting a little insecure because Carter used to be the baby. He's
Yeah. He started when he was like 15 too, I think, or
yeah.
14 to be
I
exact.
think
But
he
yeah.
was what was it, the high school hustler back in the
Uh,
day. Yeah.
yeah.
That name doesn't age well.
High
I
school.
think
Yeah.
I think when you're in high school, you don't really realize how quick you grow up. And so like if you brand
Mhm.
yourself around being young,
Yeah.
I don't recommend anyone brand themselves around being young because pretty soon you're gonna be old. Like I feel old
Yeah.
compared to these guys now. So
Yeah. You got to change everything after that. Like first you
yeah,
turn 18, you're no longer that teenage, or you're still teenage, but like you're no longer
yeah,
that young entrepreneur. Or
yeah. Exactly. Even
yeah.
Carter's old now. He said I was a young seller, now I'm old.
Well,
Yeah, you gotta be careful what you brand yourself around. Like Reezy. Reezy does Reezy resells, so he's like
mhm.
stuck kind of with reselling. I
Yeah.
know that like my goal is to travel the world before I die, so I chose Roamer the Roamer, and so I know I'll be roaming for a
Mhm.
long time. There's gonna be a period of my life where I'll probably be in like, I have kids and stuff, and I won't be moving, so my name will not hold up to its reputation for a while. But
Yeah.
um, something to consider. High school hustler
Yeah.
retired years ago.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
That's I
so
think.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was when I was making my username because I think I forgot what it used to be. I was like I was gonna put something around like 17-year-old, and I was like, then I gotta get 18-year-old. Then I gotta
19,
get all
yeah,
those domains. Yeah, not
yeah.
domains, but the usernames. So
Yeah, I think whatever you choose at some point, even Watch Me Amazon, Amazon Lit, like what happens 20
mhm.
years if Amazon's not around. It depends on how
Yeah,
long term you're thinking and stuff. Like you can't make it perfect, but yeah. So you do a couple 100,000 in sales. Is that how much you did in patio heater, or how much? What'd you get up to?
I think I did like around 400 in patio heaters.
Okay,
Somewhere around 350. I'd say 350. Yeah, so I
okay.
did
So
350,000 in patio
that kind
heaters.
of
Yeah,
like that was the start, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then after that, what did your progression look like? Did you keep doing retail arbitrage? Did you
Mhm.
go deeper on online arbitrage? And when did wholesale come around?
Yeah. So I think this is 2020 now. Like towards the start, I was trying to milk patio heaters out for as long as I could. January, February was like towards the end of like selling patio heaters, or that's when prices tanked, and there
Mhm.
wasn't people didn't want patio heaters as much. So I was doing a lot of Nike, so like Nike outlets, just pretty much Nike outlets. What was the other site? Kohl's, just online arbitrage and retail arbitrage with just Nike. Like I was just specifically focusing on Nike stuff, and
Now,
so
how did the margins with this new traditional online
mhm.
arbitrage compare to the opportunity of patio heaters?
Back during patio heaters, there's a funny story as well. So I had maxed out, or towards like about 4 months in to selling patio heaters. My mom and dad, they let me use their credit cards because okay, this is working. So towards December, like when the peak of patio heaters, like before around Christmas, because people were saying you should be outside, and like because of COVID, we should not have indoor like gatherings. So that was like my peak season, and so I maxed out my cards. I maxed out my dad's cards. I maxed out my mom's cards. I maxed out my brother's cards, and I used a lot of my dad's personal money as well. I was very fortunate for that, and what's it called? We Amazon held the money for like almost a month, and so we were like, I was scared everybody was scared because like I had the whole family in this, and so I ended up using payability, and I lost, or they took like 7 grand off of like all the money. I think it was like 2% of what he owed, and so that was very stressful. So I kind of like I was like shooting for the moon. It was working, so I was like I'll just keep on putting more money into it. But that kind of taught me like put some constraint on what you're doing and like just be prepared for the worst in a way, because you never know when something like that might happen. Because I had something similar happen not even a month ago. So I'll get into that later.
Yeah. You're learning the lessons early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you like the reason why you had your funds held was because you scaled
The
so,
jump in
so
sales.
fast.
Yeah.
And especially like I've noticed when you do MF and you jump in sales, they hold your money more than if you do FBA and jump in sales.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I've noticed at least. Because if you do FBA, the customer gets a product in 2 days or 3 days. Whereas if you do MF, it's like a 7 to 14 day handling time. And Amazon doesn't even know if the tracking numbers you're uploading are legit. So they truly wait for like that 30-day period before they give you the funds.
Yeah. So fast forward through patio heaters, that whole experience. I was selling Nike. I wasn't merchant fulfilling them. I was sending them into Amazon. And so it was mostly Nike and Legos. Like Legos were also like kicking, like there were some Legos that were like low, that had a lot of hype and there wasn't enough supply. And I was like going around to Best Buy and stuff buying them. Fast forward through Nike and all of that, 2020, around summertime, swimming pools, same thing happened. We're driving everywhere, selling swimming pools. It wasn't as good as patio heaters, but it was still pretty good money.
Did you get into swimming pools late or did you get in pretty early?
I got in pretty early, I'd say. Yeah.
And did you hear about that through Reezy's group too?
I think so. I mean, I think I got kicked out of Reezy's group for some stuff back then.
Reezy, why'd you do that? What? Tell us about that. And this will be a good clip.
Yeah.
Why Sully got kicked out of Reezy's group? Posted on IG.
Yeah. I was in the group, and I think I was like some sort of staff back then. So, and then one of my friends who was also in the group, he made his own group, and then I joined that group, and then he made me staff. Or I don't think he made me staff. I don't remember the details, but I think he made me staff of his group as well. And he was like, you can't really be staff of both groups because that doesn't really work. And so I wasn't sharing leads or anything, but I guess he didn't want that. And it's his group. He does what he wants. So I feel like that's fair though.
Yeah.
And then I got kicked out. And then, I mean, I had people in the group. Like I knew people in the group, so I was still getting all the leads.
Yeah, once you get connected with the community, it's kind of hard to not know about these things when they pop off.
Yeah. And I'm in other groups too, so it's like they'll get it even if it's a few days late. And for like swimming pools, it wasn't like a really short-term thing. It was like for like 3-4 months. So
and were you doing chlorine too at that time?
Yeah, I was doing chlorine. Yeah. I was doing I pay someone on per commission basis on getting me chlorine. So they'd go around to Costco and I pay them, I think it was around $20 a bucket. And I was making like 60 to 40 a bucket. So we were just doing like a split, and they'd go around and they'd get me a bunch of buckets. Like I was getting like 30 buckets a day.
Do you remember what part of the country were you sourcing?
California. So like Bay Area. I'm in Oakland.
Yeah, that's a good area. Do you remember what you're selling them for? Were you selling for like 250, 300, 220?
I wasn't up there. For the Costco buckets, I think I was selling them for like 190, and I think I was buying them for around $90, something like that. Around 90 or 100, around there.
So you got in kind of late then.
Maybe that was late. Yeah,
at the beginning they were selling for like 300 plus. Like Jake Carter was selling them for 300 for like a month, and then finally I was like, let me get in this, and then I was selling them for like 220 on average. But I flew people to California. I flew like a girl out that I used to date to Texas. I hired like students of mine that bought my course. I had 30 people in a spreadsheet, and I paid them all commission as well. I think I paid them $10 per bucket, so they would make $30 every time they went. But I also covered the cost of a U-Haul. I also covered the flight cost, hotel cost. I ended up making like only 30K net profit, but that was like over 6 weeks. But
that's good. Yeah.
My overhead was pretty insane, but it was a lot of fun. I was literally just like on my couch all day texting to like make sure people would go in. I had two people from me, one guy I hired off Craigslist, another guy.
Nice.
What's that guy's name? Ari. He was in our unemployment club. Ari was his name. Anyway, good kid.
Yeah.
But he introduced me to somebody named Jason, and Jason held my inventory ransom, like $4,000 to $6,000 worth of chlorine. Wouldn't pay it to me until, and then I was in the woods. I was camping with my parents, and then I get a text message from my assistant saying, and she handled like all my finances, and she was like, "This guy wants an extra $600. He's holding your inventory ransom. I'm gonna pay him." And I was like, "No, don't pay him." And I got like all upset, and then like finally Ari got the chlorine back, and then we shipped it to Amazon MF. But dude, that was a fucking nightmare. Like that whole chlorine thing brought like some interesting characters out. Even Flips for Miles, he commented on Jason. So like Jason holding my inventory ransom, and I made an Instagram post that was like, "Hey, there's this dickhead in Seattle holding my inventory." And then I was like, "Everyone go tell him to give Romer his inventory back." And so Flips for Miles and a bunch of other people went and commented. And then he got mad at Miles's comment because Miles didn't even say something like super rude, but then he was like talking about playing a basketball game against Miles. It was like, "Looks like you can't even like fucking like touch rim or some shit." Like they're going back and forth or something stupid.
Yeah,
but this dude was 7 feet tall. So on his ID, I had everyone send me their ID for doing this, and it said 7. It just said 7 feet. It didn't say like 7'1" or like. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably worse than anything I've went through. I was very skeptical about having people go and like go and buy stuff for me, because some people wanted credit cards, and then some like I just didn't want to. Like I think I was just scared, to be honest. Like I just didn't want to give people that kind of trust, or that kind of like ability to screw me over. Hence the reason why I didn't do that much in chlorine. But yeah, I only had one guy and his wife. They both were like going. They were just doing loops at Costco's for chlorine. So maybe I think I was late for chlorine. Yeah.
Yeah, you were in the right part of the country though for it. California was by far the best.
Yeah. And then and something interesting about swimming pools. I was buying swimming pools for people out of state, and so basically I was also getting commission on this. But I don't know if you know. I think her name was Victoria. She was selling chlorine and swimming pools. She was heavy on that stuff too.
Okay.
She was paying me $25 so I can get swimming pools on order pickup for her in certain areas, and this was from Walmart. So I think I got her around like 100 swimming pools. I was getting like $20 to $30 commissions, but I was like, I'm just on my computer all the time at this point, just like checking restocks, and so it was like it wasn't much work. So we both made a bunch of money, and as long as
she on social media at all? Does she post?
She doesn't post, but she's on social media. Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot her handle or her.
Is she like out of North Carolina or something?
No, I think she's out of. Where was she based out of? I completely forgot. I think down by LA. I think I'm not sure. She also has a taco truck as well. I don't know if that rings a bell.
And she's got a what?
She's got a taco truck.
Taco truck? No. There's this one chick on the chlorine listings, and she was like out of North Carolina, and she was doing big numbers. But
yeah, chlorine was really fun though. I feel like I got like a more chlorine like intake like through my like. I think I breathed in way too much chlorine though.
I did it like twice. Like in Miami, I went, and then like the rest of the time I was just texting, and like I had people in Texas, California, running it for me. But it was good. It was good. Yeah, so what'd you do after the pool and chlorine era? Did you go back to regular OA again?
Yeah, regular OA, and mostly art. Let me think. Yeah, it was mostly OA and RA. I didn't like touch wholesale. I thought wholesale was like this thing that like nobody could achieve, or like it was only for the big sellers type of thing. So I didn't give it much thought, and I was making money with what I was doing. So I was like, why change like anything if it's already going well? Yeah, I just did OA for the rest of that December-ish. I kept on doing OA, and then I went back to school though, and then handling school. Is that okay? That's okay. I was trying to handle school and soccer and like what I'm doing or like my business. And so for about 3 4 months of like soccer season, like I legit had no time. Like I get out of school at 3.
Hmm.
Soccer practice, I'd like get out of school completely at like 5:30, and then from 5:30 it'd be like maybe 3 4 hours I get, and I'm already like tired from soccer practice. So it was very hard. I think I was only doing like 20 30K a month during soccer season, but uh, when summer hit, I got back to it. So
Do you know
it
what
is
your
what it is.
margin is on that? Like 8, 10%? Do you know what you're operating
Uh,
at?
yeah. So back when I was doing swimming pools, I think I was at like 30% margins. I made up quite a bit of money off
Yeah.
swimming pools, then chlorine and patio heaters. I think patio heaters it was less. It was like around like 12 to 15%.
Hmm.
But doing OA, I really thought I was making a lot of money, and it's recently that I realized I really wasn't. Um, I was getting a lot of returns for like the clothing and the shoes and stuff, and that really dug into my
Hmm.
margins. And like I was thinking I was making a lot of money, and so for like 3 4 months straight, I think I was like close to like a 7% margin, and I really wasn't like aware of it because I also wasn't doing much volume then.
Yeah.
So I was like, where's this money going? And I was just like, I'm getting a bunch of returns. That's what's happening. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Returns are huge on clothing. But I mean,
yeah,
7% honestly is like pretty typical for OA. Like if you talk to people
uh,
at scale, like Fast Track FBA, he does like 10 million a year at like a 5%
that's
margin. Soros does 10 million a year at an 8% margin, I think. The difference between like OA and wholesale though is like wholesale guys will brag about a 15% margin, which is legit. It's true.
mhm.
But what you don't hear is it takes 3 weeks to get the product. Sometimes,
uh,
another 2 weeks to get to Amazon. So they have like a 5 week lead time, whereas OA
mhm.
sellers get the product, sell it, flip it. OA sellers are able
Yeah,
to turn their inventory a lot faster. You're not as deep on products. You can buy 10 of one product or 100 of another and never go over a 30-day supply. Whereas with wholesale, it's a little different. So I think wholesalers have higher margins than OA sellers almost always.
yeah. I'm starting to think that too. And like now I've been trying to focus more on return on investment. So like how can I keep my money flipping the fastest way possible? Because like I have
Mhm.
abundance in leads. Like I can get leads, I just can't get the money for the leads. So
Mhm.
uh, that's I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to put where is the best place to put my money. So like how can
Yeah.
I get the like even if I'm selling an item for $1 and I'm getting $2 back, and even if that's 10% margin, I'd rather sell that product and go around selling like a $40 product like a $40 product and making like 5 or 10 bucks back. Or
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just putting your money in the best spot, or in the fastest the fastest return place
Yeah.
is what I've been working on.
Yeah. And if you can get fast return and
Mhm.
high ROI, that's like when life changing
Yeah,
money
yeah,
happens. And
yeah,
so you've already experienced that a couple times. And so now, like when you come across those opportunities again, like, oh, this is one of those magical opportunities where there's high return on my investment.
yeah,
The money comes back quickly. And ideally, like if you can sell something MF and have it be high
mhm,
return on investment
yeah,
and sells fast, it's game over. Like literally, like if all you need to do is get more money, and if you can prove that to people, and if you can show people or whoever, like if people,
yeah,
like once you network more with the community, you'll be able to show,
mhm,
hey, like I'm spending 50,000, making 50,000. I just need more money. Then you can get
yeah,
money from people too. So
yeah, yeah. I might start selling leads, maybe like just like to a close amount of people, because getting leads is not as hard as a lot of people think it is. Like people ask for like the golden method of getting wholesale accounts, and it's really just reach out to more wholesalers, because like you can ask them one or two or three times, but like if they say no, it's just like work on more wholesalers, because there's if this wholesaler doesn't want to work with you, there's like tons of other distributors or brands that like
mhm.
will work with you or like want to work with you. So
Yeah.
let's just call more people, send out more emails. When I did the switch completely to wholesale, I was sending like 50 emails a day, and I did that for like 3 or 2 weeks, and then I got like I still have leads that I haven't even went through from doing that
Mhm.
like three four
Mhm.
months ago. So if you like, I'd say even if you send out like 200-300 emails, like you'll get, or cold calls, like a mix of both, like you'll get enough deals, like to the point where your money, like you won't have enough money to buy them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was your approach? Were you going after like beauty distributors? Were you going after
Mhm.
brand direct? Can you walk us through like how you landed your first wholesale account and
Yeah.
found like
Yeah.
an actual profitable product?
Yeah. So there's two ways you, if you want to go the brand direct route, uh that works. And for me, I did a lot, like right now I'm doing a lot of brand direct. So I would find the brand on Amazon, and if they have like 5-6 sellers on like okay, rewind. I start with Smart Scout. So on Smart Scout, I'd see this item is selling, this item is selling, and that I can get on this product because there's like, it's not like 2 or 3 sellers on there. So it's not only Amazon, or it's not only like one like exclusive seller. So as long as those, like, it's not one of those things, that means you can more than likely get on that listing. So if it has like 5, for me, I think it was 5 or more FBA sellers. So I look at the brands that have that on average, and based off that, I just reach out to the brand, send them an email. Hey, I'm interested in buying this product, or I'm interested in buying wholesale from you guys. Where is that, or like where can I get it? Where is that? Can I get an application or something along those lines? And then you apply, or you send them all your information, and try to make it seem like you're gonna buy a lot, because they'll get you your account faster. Um,
Mhm.
like I tell them, like most of the time, like if I'm not getting a response, like I'll be like, I want to buy this much of this like item, and so like that will
And
sometimes
is it actually like an item that you had your eye on, or are you
Mhm.
just bringing up a new? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You want to be honest with them too. So, like look through their catalog and be like, this product sells fast. It meets all my criteria. I just need it for a good price, or like a decent
Mhm.
price. So you can like be honest with them and be like, I want to place an order for like this much stuff, and so I want to get an account. So like that makes you a little more. At least it makes you look a little bit more serious reaching out
Mhm.
to them.
And you are serious
So
because when they come back and they're like, "All right, we can get it to you for that price," you can actually make the
yeah, you place that
purchase.
order. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I do for wholesale, or for the distributor route. It's like the same thing. Uh,
Mhm.
I haven't done outreach in a while, but for just distributors, I've been trying to focus on brand direct. But you can just look up like beauty distributor or whatever, like whatever you're looking for, or look up the brand and then put distributor after. And
Mhm.
the third way that works for me, that's worked the best for me, is asking the brand what distributors you guys like sell to. So you'll get like brand, like these companies have brand direct accounts. So if you're gonna get it for the cheapest or the second cheapest, you'd be getting it from there. So not like, because I know some distributors will buy from another distributor, and so you're like the fourth man down. So like you're gonna be purchasing it for a higher price by doing that. But if you ask the brand directly, and they tell you, we work with this company directly, go to them if you can't get a brand direct account. So I
Mhm.
know I just kept on ranting there, but
No, that
yeah,
makes sense. You ask the brand. If they say yes, great. If they say no, ask them for a list of authorized distributors. And so then, like,
yeah.
by reaching out to the brand, not only are you getting a yes or no answer, you're also getting
Mhm.
a list of distributors that you can buy from too.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
just keep on spam calling and spam emailing them until you get a response. So,
Dude, so the profitable wholesale accounts you're ordering from now, were those phone call setups or were those email setups?
mm, let me think. One of them, it was just like straight. Everything was off of the email. I didn't call them until I was like interested with inventory.
Mhm.
So I say my top three are, it's like 50-50. And I think if you look at like, because I'm not working with a lot of distributors, like I'm only working with a few with the money I have. So if you look at it like on a broad spectrum, it'd be like calling would get you the best return. Uh, Emailing would work as well, but calling is because you actually get to build a relationship with the person. So it's not like you're
Mhm.
just typing up an email every time. So
Right. Yeah. So last Q4, you were doing mainly OA.
yeah.
Do you plan on doing
Uh,
some OA this Q4?
uh, it depends. Um, So one of the problems with wholesale is that I'm buying like a month and a half of supply. where like I really want to be only buying like 3 weeks of supply. So I'm buying a little bit more than what I want to, but like to achieve these lower prices, um, I'm having to buy a little bit more than I want to. So it really depends on like if I think I can get a higher yield on my money through wholesale or not, which I think
Yeah,
I
dude, the
can.
thing about Q4 is like two things to consider during Q4 with online arbitrage
Mhm.
is you get the product in 2 to 4 days, maybe 7 with online arbitrage.
Yeah.
Whereas with wholesale, it can take weeks. And then also you get cash back with online arbitrage. So
Yeah.
Q4
Yeah.
is like it's insane for OA sellers.
Yeah. I know some people went crazy on socks or and stuff last year. Uh, that was really good for some people, not so good for me. I think
Yeah.
but yeah.
Do, do
It's
you do
whatever.
you think do you
Hmm?
think that do you think that certain niches of online arbitrage have experienced a lot of competition? Like, do you
Yeah,
think?
like Nike,
Yeah,
yeah, go
Nike
ahead.
for sure.
Uh, yeah, Nike is like I used to buy from Nike.com. Like I think this was like closer to a year and a half ago, and I would make money on that stuff. But now, if you were to buy something when a Nike sale happens, unless it's something that goes out of stock, there's gonna be like another 30 sellers, or like maybe not 30, but like there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah,
sellers pop up on that listing. So
yeah.
your prices will tank. Yeah, for Nike specifically.
Nike is competitive. It's almost to the point. Charge my damn laptop. Give me 1 second,
It's all
please.
good.
Can't even run a podcast properly. Can't even get my.
Are you in
There we go.
Mexico?
Boom.
Right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Hey,
None of
is
these
it hot?
Mexican out.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure it is
fucking.
hot
It's
out there.
hot here,
Yeah.
man. I slept at like
Okay.
4 a.m. 2 nights ago because it was so hot. I went on the street and got some street food at like 3:30 a.m. I just couldn't sleep in here. So
Yeah. And I'm saying this is hot. It's like it's probably not even 70 degrees out.
yeah.
And I'm
And
burning up.
you're up in
But
Northern California still?
yeah, Northern Bay Area. I guess that's closer
Yeah.
to Northern
I love
California.
the trees up there. So
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
ask you about Q4
Mhm.
and what your strategy is. Do you plan on what do you plan on
Yeah.
doing with wholesale, and what do you plan on doing
Yeah.
with online arbitrage? But before we dive into that, I want to talk about go-to lister real quick for all my online arbitrage and wholesale guys out there. We have profit analytics. That means you can log into your account. You can see how much your profit you're making on a daily basis. So not only can you see your sales, but you can also see
Yeah.
how much did you pay for those items sold. So at the time, the screenshot was 33,000 sales. It's actually weak as hell.
Hey.
I should screen share and show what my real sales are, but I'm just paranoid you guys will see my profits. Or you guys will, of course, see my profit, but I don't want you guys to see my products. Let's dive into this real
Yeah.
quick. Let me share my screen. This is for
I like
all my
turn it off for a second.
OA wholesale people out there. Boom. Can you guys see my screen good? We rocking and rolling?
Hey.
Yeah, so on a daily basis, you can see like 5,000 in sales. That doesn't mean shit, guys. If you see people posting on Instagram 5,000 in sales, they could be literally making like $200 profit. So ask for their go-to lister sales. What we do is we show you not only what you did in sales, but also what your profit is. This is after Amazon fees. This is after your buy cost. This is a full circle system. So if you guys use go-to lister to list your products, just put your buy cost in, what you paid for the product in the front end, and it'll remember that. And so on a daily basis, you can see my sales have been pretty consistent lately, around 2,700, but I'm making around 1,100 profit every day. And so I check this. I don't even check my Amazon seller app anymore. I just check go-to lister sales. We have profit analytics. We're the fastest listing software on the planet. We can list every single product that exists under the sun. If it exists on Amazon, we can list it. We got a lot of cool stuff coming out pretty soon. And yeah, let's go to lister, guys. Let's jump back into the podcast and hear about
Everybody
some
get
things.
go-to lister.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, please I could do.
Q4 strategies. Let's talk Q4.
Yeah. I haven't.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Since Salih's on the pod, if you guys email us at support at go-to lister, Salih, we'll give you half off your first month. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Okay. Did you get the 500? What's it called? The
500 users.
Yeah.
We're like halfway there. We're like 250.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
working on it.
Nice. So Q4, some of the products I'm selling right now, I think that like it'll jump in, like it'll sell a lot more for Q4.
Mhm.
It's like it's the type of product you get someone for a gift. So I think if I just stock heavy on those items, because right now I'm not even keeping up in stock because I just don't have the capital to do so. If I just try to maybe borrow some money from people I know or something along that line, and like they'll get some sort of percentage of what I make,
Any
something
investors
like
out
that.
there, hit Sully up. He's looking for money. Hit him up. His
Yeah.
Instagram's below. Give Sully a follow. Let's get him to 1,000 a day. He's at 900 and
Yeah, I'm
something.
at like nine something. Yeah.
Let's get him up to $1,000.
Yeah. So Q4 strategy, just stock up on whatever I'm selling right now. Because most of the stuff I'm selling right now, I know it works, and I think it'll work. Like it's products that I think people will buy for Christmas, or like we'll have a spike in sales. So
when you say
I'm not
stock up, are you sending it FBA early, like October-ish, or are you just saying you want to have it on hand, merchant fulfilled? What do you mean by stocking up?
stocking up as in like sending it to Amazon. And since I don't know how the limit system works now. I think it's just by cubic feet.
It's
It's not by
capacity
units
limit, so
anymore.
yeah, 5 feet, which is so much smarter way to do it. But they have the right to like not allow you to pay for space. So like I was talking to a bookseller like 2 months ago, and he's like, "Yeah, it's
Hmm.
not an issue because we can just pay for space." And I'm like, "Dude, why would you trust Amazon to always allow you to pay for space? They've lied to us
Yeah.
so many times in the past." And like 2 weeks ago, I tried to get more space, and they wouldn't give it to me. Luckily, I have space now,
Oh.
but just know that guys, do not hinge on Amazon keeping their policy the same. Just because you can pay for space today doesn't mean you'll be able to pay for space tomorrow. So anyway, back to your Q4 answer.
Yeah, just stocking up, sending it in. Last Q4, I didn't prepare or anything. I think soccer season ended right before Q4, I believe. I might be getting mixed up, and so a lot of my time was there. So I didn't even think about focusing on it. But what I did do was I went on freaking Smart Scout, and I went through Lego items. And so these Lego items, whatever like Amazon went out of stock in, like right before, like or like this was like 2 weeks before Christmas. So like maybe like 3 weeks. I look at what Amazon is not in stock in on Lego, like on Lego items. So Legos that are not like they're still like widely available, but just Amazon hasn't been able to keep up with the stock like on
Mm.
Amazon.com. So I go around, like drive around and buy these Lego sets, and I just sell them like right away for Christmas time. So I'd send them priority mail or like or UPS ground, like just so it get in time for Christmas. So this is something like you can make. I think I made around like 4 or 5 thousand off of this, but you can make some good money like that first 2 week window before Christmas on like selling Legos that like Amazon can't keep up with the supply. So you can look at last year's charts, like Keepa charts on like when Amazon went, like if Amazon went out of stock on this Lego, and you can kind of make the prediction that they might do that this year. I wouldn't buy the Legos until Amazon was actually like going in and out of stock. So that's something that
And
I did
you're
last
buying
Q4.
these Legos from like Legos. Where are you buying these from? Walmart,
Uh,
Legos.com.
I didn't have much luck at Walmart, but I did buy some from Target and what's that store called? The bookstore,
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a wide selection of Lego sets for a
Does Barnes and
bookstore,
Noble
in my
cancel?
opinion.
Because Target cancels pretty aggressively.
Barnes and Noble does like I can't place any orders online for Barnes and Noble. Like they just won't let me anymore. But
Yeah.
going in store is pretty good because I think I was making like $15 a Lego set. So I go on a run and like fill up my van and get like 100, 200 Lego sets. So
From
it
Barnes and
was good.
Noble.
Yeah, but I have quite a few around me, so I just make
Nice.
the trip. So
You use that strategy quite a bit where you like look at the stocks of in store using like
mhm.
brickseek.com, or how are you checking stocks?
So for this, I call them up, and they have the ability to look at all the store stock. So that's going to be the most accurate, like for checking stock. Like BrickSeek works, but like you're not getting the in-store stock at like that second. So if you want to get like the really good stock and like not have to waste your time, driving around and like not having the inventory, just call the store. You can ask if you have a good like if you get on the phone with someone good, they can go actually check if they have it on the floor or not. But most of the time, you could just ask them like what stores do have stock. So that doesn't work
Mhm.
for. I don't think that works for Walmart, but I know it works for Target and Barnes and Nobles.
Right.
So just give it a try instead of potentially wasting your time.
Lori wants to know more about your book phase. How long was that? Also, side question: do you plan on going to college?
No, but my
Okay.
family wants me to, so it's
Okay, let's talk about that a little
it's
bit.
okay.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I'll send this to your mom afterwards.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth it right now for me. I have some plans on like where I want to take this Amazon thing, and so I do really think I can get this to something big. My plan is to like start private label, learn how to do private label, or like learn how to like market and create listings and stuff, and then go back to brands, and now I could sell this. So as like a full on like, so I can be. It'd be easier for me to be an exclusive seller if I have all these like skills under my belt. So if I know how to market, and if I know how to like
Mm,
get your item as like a bestseller on Amazon,
yeah.
I could be like an all-in-one. So you could either work with me for as an agency, or you can work with me as like a full-on, um, like I'll take care of your stock, I'll do everything, and just give me access to your listing so I can edit stuff. And
Mhm,
so I feel like that's where the real money is, in my
mhm.
opinion. There's some businesses out there that do that, and they make a lot of money, and
Yeah.
and it's very good because they're very exclusive, and the brands that they work with, they're either charging them as an agency or they're charging them as Amazon. So my next thing is get those skills by like doing private label and growing my own brand, and then coming back and then doing it for others. So
What do your parents want you to go to college for? Anything
uh
specific?
no, but my both my older brothers, one of them he graduated from college, and then the other
Mhm.
one's there. So I guess they just want me because I'm next in line to go, but I just don't think I'm going. I don't think I'm going to. I really
Okay.
don't think so. Because
What's your ethnicity, by the way? Are your
I mean,
parents from another country?
yeah, they're from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. I was gonna say you look like
Ethiopia.
I have a Ethiopian friends that went to my school. You remind me of them.
Yeah.
So with that culture, does that? Because I know certain cultures, I've heard Nigerians they want their kids to become doctors, lawyers, uh,
Mhm.
accountants, and something else. And like Israel Adesanya, I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't become any of those. I was like, hey, I'm gonna fight, and his parents thought he was crazy, but now he's making like way
Yeah.
more money than he would make if he was a doctor. Do they have like
Or anything
any?
else. Yeah.
Do they have any expectations of just something normal like that? I think most parents kind of want that, but I don't know if there's like a cultural thing there.
I know there is like widely, not really with us. Like I think my like she just wants me to go to college and get some sort of degree.
Right.
I think I've got her down here. Like I don't think she has expectations of me going to like
Mm,
8 years to college to become a doctor.
gotcha.
But yeah, I think they just want me to get a degree with something, and I don't know because I can always get that degree. And with the things like the way things are going right now, I can do this, or I can go sell books, or I can go back to fixing iPhones, worst case. So
Mm,
like I think I have enough backup plans. Like I have a backup plan for the backup plan. So I could just go back and take some steps back and just do what I used to do.
yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
not scared.
the reason why I asked that
Yeah.
was because Lori was asking about your book phase, which we'll get
Yeah.
into in a second. But when I was in college, you're way past this. But I took $700 from my dad, and I spent it all on books, which just felt like the biggest risk ever. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending this on books
Oh.
that I'm buying for my classmates, and I ended up making it back in like a couple months. It was really quick money, and actually now my college sends me books through my website, restrictedinventory.com. So restrictedinventory.com is a service where I sell your textbooks at a 50-50 split. If anyone out there is a bookseller, you come across restricted textbooks, we'll sell them for you at a 50-50 split. Shout out restrictedinventory.com.
Your books.
Grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking Well Show.
Anyway, I built out this whole website, this whole software where you can scan in a book. It tells you how much profit you would make if you sent it to us, and we sell it for you on our ungated accounts. We check for counterfeits, the whole 9 yards. It's impossible for us to get restricted because we have an account that sold their soul to the devil with the people that don't want us to sell textbooks, and now we can sell textbooks. But my college still sends me books to this day, and it's going to pay for my college. Like the amount of debt, I think I had like 14,000 in debt. I was on a partial wrestling scholarship when I was in college,
No.
and I already paid off all my college debt. But I what was I about to say? They send me books every year, and like we've probably done like 40,000 in sales just from the books they've sent. So I've made like 15 grand back from this. So it's like they may have already paid for my college, honestly. Like it's pretty ridiculous.
What'd you study?
I studied psychophysiology. So I graduated
Okay.
I graduated a year early because
Nice.
I just wanted to get out in the real world. I wanted to travel. And I just had the confidence that like I can do this. If I just get out there, I'm going to be able to do it. And so I just Googled
Yeah.
how to graduate college early, and I just followed the steps. Like literally, like it's so easy to graduate college early. Like you just take some CLEP test, you just do what they say online, and it's so easy. And cut off a year there. But actually, that's kind of one of my regrets now because I didn't wrestle for. I think I should have wrestled for 5 years and just chilled a bit. But I don't necessarily regret the path I took. But something to consider when you're young. Like imagine you're 30, 35. Like what would you have liked to do when you were younger? And for me, I definitely kind of wish I would have put more time into my craft, which was wrestling. And instead I was like, let me get into entrepreneurship, and it's led me here. But at the same time, like grass is always greener on the other side. But anyway, food for thought. So let's talk about your book phase. You, how short was that? And tell us about that.
So that I think that was only about 2 months. The first month, I think I started back in like August, towards like the middle of the month. So those 2 weeks, I think I did like 100 something in sales, or no, 200 something. I don't remember, somewhere around there. It wasn't a lot. I just sold books I had in the house, and once I like the first book I sold was like this algebra book that used to be my brother's when he was in high school, and so he didn't ask for a profit split or anything, but it was like a $40-$50 book. So that sold the first day. So that like boost, like I was like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to go sell some books. And so I went to thrift stores. I went to like probably almost every thrift store in like a 10-mile radius. And I was like, I knew where they put the new books, so I just always scanned that area. But I scanned through all the books that they had. So like I think the longest I've spent in a thrift store was like 4 or 5 hours. Just like they had like a large selection of books, and I scanned through all of it. And so I would say do the same. Like if you're starting out, start off with some books. If you're not making much already, then like you don't have that much to lose. Like spending your time scanning books. So I'd say go through all the stores in your area and just scan through the books.
Do you remember what app you were using?
Scout IQ or
Scout
something
IQ.
Like that.
Hey guys, there's a Scout IQ integration coming out next week with restricted inventory. So if you guys scan a book that you're restricted in, it'll tell you how much profit you would make if you sent it to us. So that'd be pretty cool.
Just scan through the books, get yourself a Bluetooth scanner. Like everybody says, like it's really easy money unless someone's already been through your area and scanned through. But from that, almost a year later, I bought a pallet of books from my Goodwill. There's like a Goodwill outlet, so they get they have a bunch of books there. So a pallet was like $45. You can scan it there, and you can leave your duds there.
Nice.
So that was
Smart.
pretty cool. But it was in the sun and everything, so it wasn't. I did the math. So the first pallet I did, I think I made like 400 or 500 off that pallet. It wasn't a great pallet. Or I didn't think it was.
But still, it's like you can't beat that $45 to $500.
Yeah. But then the next few pallets I bought, they're all trash. So I was like barely making my 65 back.
Yeah.
So I
stopped
doing
it.
Huh? Yeah. And the thing is, like, I have to do it all today because I can't just leave the pallet in front of not in front, but like they have a little section, and there's some other people who do the same thing. But like I can't just stay there, and I can't just leave my pallet there and come back the next day and scan. So I was like forced to do it no matter what.
So you bought the whole pallet and you left your duds there. Were you using Sell Back Your Book integration at all?
Yeah, it was, but I just didn't like. I was like, is it really worth moving? Like, because there's a lot of Sell Back Your Book books, and I was like, I did the math. I was like 17 cents here, 10 cents here. Like it didn't add up to like more than $20. So I was like, I didn't think it was that worth it, and I was tired.
$20. So. Yeah, I know. $20 though is like half your buy cost. So it's like, and you get that cash like when you send it, and they cover shipping too. So I think it's a pretty sick. I wish I would have had more of that back in the day. I actually take 100% responsibility for that integration because I introduced Sell Back Your Book to Caleb back in the day. But that integration came out like when I kind of stopped doing books seriously. And so, but I think it's a big opportunity for people for sure. I ask everyone this question on the pod. What do you think is the quickest way to 100,000 in sales for some young kid like you out there? Somebody who's maybe a little bit older, trying to get out of debt. You can take this question however you want, but what's the quickest way to 100,000 in sales as a new Amazon seller?
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna assume you have a bunch of time on your hands. So you'd start off like I do, like your first, like just sell your first 100 books. I tell you that, like get like 100 sales on your account. 100 is not like a magical number, but like have some sales on your account so Amazon knows they can trust you. Get like 100 sales, send some into Amazon, sell some yourself. Then go to your like start hitting clearance. So like whatever. I'm trying to think. I think right after books, you'd go and buy just like whatever's on clearance or whatever's like popping at the moment. So like there's leads that will like only stay around for like 2 weeks, and you can find those in groups. And 2 weeks, like even if you make a grand on that, like you just have to. I think the reason why I don't like those is because you have to be fast. So just try to just try to get in on all those like little leads, and or not even little, like just temporary leads. So get into those, and if you keep on doing that, I think you'll get to 100K. Like I don't think it's
Mhm.
100K is that hard to get. I just avoid sending stuff into Amazon because you starting off, if you're really just trying to make money really quickly, just do merchant fulfilled. Focus on products that have a lot of merchant fulfilled sellers because you don't want to be competing with FBA sellers. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
not really clippable. Sorry.
no,
I
no,
didn't-
that's all great advice.
but
A similar question. I'm having trouble sourcing online arbitrage, says winner one. Please give some golden advice. So what advice do you have for online arbitrage sellers looking to find more leads?
I'd say make another email address and like get on every single email list for like every single major site. So every time there's a sale, like you want to be getting that, you want to be getting the email, and you want to get on that site as soon as they get that sale. Uh,
Mhm.
that will get you that will like give you like, and just check that email address. Like if there's like a huge wholesale, if there's like a huge Dick's Sporting Goods sale, and there's some items there that like you can make some money on, just go for it because typically those sales don't last like more than 2 weeks. So there's probably going to be some money to make there.
Mhm. What do
And
you
just
think? Go ahead.
or there's always going to be those sales. So if you just keep on like hopping from sale to sale, I think there's some good money to be made there.
What's your opinion on, going after shiny, what everyone else is doing, like selling Nike products, stuff like that, versus
Mhm.
finding like your own niche of products? What's your opinion on like the difference between that? Because I think a lot of people are intimidated to try something new. But I have heard from some people that, if you do try something new, then you have it all to yourself versus if you go after what everyone else is doing, then everyone else is doing that, so the prices tank more. But on the flip side, Nike's a name brand. It gets sales, got the reputation. You're not going to get IP'd. There's pros and cons to each.
Yeah. I mean, at the start, you're not really going to have your own method of finding your own leads. So it makes sense to go after the shiny, like Stanley Cups. A lot of people lost money on Stanley Cups, and there's a lot of people like I think there's more people who made money. And so, like for those type of things, like if you have a different way of getting the product for those shiny products, like me and some friends, we all bought. There's like this bot that buys stuff like first thing it goes in stock, and so we had that bot, and we paid. I think we paid like $300 for the bot. So if you have a different way of getting those shiny like items that are really hard to get, then you can make a lot of money. But like if you're
Yeah.
just doing what everybody else is doing, then you're not gonna really make that much, or you're not gonna like.
Yeah.
There's nothing different, so you guys will all be like doing the same thing. So prices will tank, or
Mhm.
and you won't be able to get as much stock for like those shiny
Mhm.
items.
Yeah. So do you plan on doing OA or do you plan on scaling the wholesale side?
I plan on scaling the wholesale side unless there's something OA that's like
Gotcha.
that makes sense to do.
So being an OA veteran, do you have like any secrets of the trade you can share that could make people a lot of money that maybe you wouldn't have shared if you planned on going deep? I mean, the bot was a great example. Anything else like that?
Um, I mean, if you have a lot of time on your hands, you can go through Smart Scout and do the reverse product sourcing. I had my virtual assistant do that for me back then. He'd look at all the products on Amazon that meet my criteria that I would sell, like that have a certain amount of like over. Here's the criteria: it's like have over 5 or 6 sellers. No, I think it was a little bit more. Like have a little bit more like than 8 sellers, and then Like Amazon can't be in stock like less than 20% of the time. The rank has to be like a decent rank,
More
like getting
more
at
than
least 300.
20%, right? More than 20% of the time. Amazon, you don't want
No,
Amazon like 80% of the time in stock.
yes, yeah. So less than 20%
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And then what was I saying? Less than 20% of the time.
Criteria on Smart Scout.
Yeah, for the ranks. Yeah. So
Mhm.
go into Jungle Scout sales calculator, and for whatever like item niche you're looking into, like put in random numbers until you get to a number that gives you around like less than 300,000. Like what rank in this category would get you around 300? No, that would get you around 300 sales a month. So that would be your maximum, and then your minimum would be 0. So anything from 0 to like, let's just say a 20,000 rank gets 300 sales a month. You go from 0 to 20,000, filter out, and you'd have all these potential products. And then you can just go and just like have your virtual assistant check like the first 2 pages of Google for these products. So some like stores might have sales, or like some stores might not be like a major like retailer. Like I mean, like you might not buy this from like Target or Walmart, but like you might buy a fishing pole from like a fishing pole only store, and
Mhm.
so you can make like there's probably money to be made there. So
Okay.
that's what I was doing. That was my OA strategy for a while. And there's money to be made. Like you pay someone $280 an hour in the Philippines, and they'll do all of that for you. So
Mhm. And then what if somebody what if somebody finds a really good opportunity, but there's limited
yeah.
stock? How do you create a bot? Like, how do you go about that?
So you don't create a bot. There's bots out there that you can purchase. I think there's a site called Botmart, botmart.io or something. And then there's also they have a Discord server, and so people are like buying and selling bots. And so you can just DM them and be like, "Does this bot work on this site?" And they'll tell you if it does, and then if it does, you can buy it off of them. So that's what I did, and I think I have like 3 bots, like all for different types of sites. So there's like bots that specialize in certain sites. So bots are really good for getting those like hard to get items.
Mhm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any like last advice for people looking into wholesale, maybe that you think you haven't covered? Like any golden tips besides reaching out to brands, doing all the right things, like any direction they should be taking to like really get their first profitable wholesale product?
I mean, like just do what I did. Reach out to all these brands. Just reach out. Just do outreach.
Mhm.
Like um,
Any
if
red
you if
flags
you
though, like who not to reach out to? Like, do you reach out to the sponsored Google ads? Are there categories you should
no.
avoid? You know, things like that.
Yeah. So for me, the beauty category, that's this category that I went into first, and that was like really beauty category is really hard to get into. There's like not like there's a lot of the bigger brands is very hard to get them for good prices. So
Mhm.
I'd say avoid the beauty category to start off with. There's probably some good products, but like I did a little bit of messaging on there, and I didn't really get like that great of pricing. So anything but the beauty category, I'd say.
It's funny you say
And
that
yeah,
because like it's always mentioned that the beauty category is like the best.
for wholesale, I'm not.
Just in
I don't
general,
know.
I feel like just in general,
Okay,
like people are
yeah,
like beauty,
for
beauty's
OA.
like very sexy.
Mhm.
Beauty, grocery, and what I'm finding is if you venture out of the categories that everyone always talks about, there's less
Yeah,
sellers and there's a lot more profit. So don't be afraid
yeah,
to do the categories that nobody ever talks about. Doesn't mean they're not profitable, it just means no one's talking about
yeah. I guess stay out of like maybe because I was looking at the major brands, so it's kind of hard to get good prices for that. But
them.
there's opportunity in all the niches. So I just stay away from beauty. Maybe starting out, get into like grocery and food. There's less items like you could sell there, but like there's no returns, and that like boosts your margins overall. So I say get started in grocery for most people.
Awesome, sweet. Well, thanks for coming on, brother. Everyone,
Yeah,
give Salit a follow below. He's posting on Instagram. He might come up
thank,
with a YouTube channel soon, hopefully. Do you have a
maybe.
YouTube? No YouTube.
I posted some shorts on there a while ago, but
Okay,
no
we'll,
actual
we'll
videos.
we'll plug that one below too. So go ahead and give him a follow. And remember,
Yeah,
guys, use the code Salit at GoToLister. Support at GoToLister.com. If you guys message us Salit, we'll give you half off the first month. So appreciate you guys.
yeah, yeah.
Much
Thank
love.
you for having me.